Little light shining through the window lets me know everything's alright. Summer breeze makes me feel fine, blowing through the jasmine in my mind. Summer breeze makes me feel fine, blowing through the jasmine in my mind. Hi, I'm Lisa. I am the Ukulele Fool, and this is just such a fabulous summer song written by Jim Seals and Dash Crofts. It was a hit in 1972. So grab your ukulele. I'm going to take you through each of the 4 sections. In this, we'll go over the chords. We'll go through some of your options, because you do have options both in the chords and the strumming patterns that you choose, and even I've got a little finger picking for you. So come on, don't let me just talk at you, let's do it together. Because this song relies so heavily on barred chords, I'm going to assume that you already know your F and G. A partial bar chord is included in the introduction, and that is a B flat. That might be a trigger for some people. B flat can be encountered. I was just talking with some of my patrons over the weekend, and they were saying, like, I remember I thought I would never get B flat, and they're saying, no, yeah, it's no problem. So you can do it too. My tips for a B flat, and you can skip through to this number if you don't need these tips, but rolling your finger, your index finger that's holding down these 2 strings up towards the headstock, so you're getting more of the bony part of your finger. Now I've got bony fingers to begin with, but I want to get the boniest part in connection with those strings and the fretboard. Then where I place my thumb is really important too. Instead of having it going, perpendicular to the fretboard, I change it so that it's in line with the fretboard and even maybe slightly towards my face on here. And that's so I can really kind of scrunch my hand position down. I'll show you here, and I'll use the black on my shirt so that it really kind of crimps in like that. So it's kind of like using pliers. I'm pinching it in, using my hand to put more pressure on it, because yeah, it requires some strength and pressure. I do have an exercise for helping make all your barred chords better, and you could even just do it with this B flat shape. Just change it and do those on the barred chord exercise as well. I've got that link down below, so check that out in the description box. So here are your options for doing the intro. Each of the chord symbols gets 4 beats. So you could just do an island strum, right? G and B flat, F and G, and that works great. I like to do finger picking, and the finger picking pattern that I use has a lot of silence in it. Is it like what they do? No, not really, but I'm trying to get a little of that flavor in. I use these 3 fingers to accomplish my finger picking. Not that your thumb's a finger, but I'm going to call it a finger. So the thumb is on the G string, and I have a low G on my instrument. So I pluck down with my thumb and then pull up with my index finger on the C string. Then I go down with my middle finger to the A string, and then use my index finger on the E string. So I'm going 1 and 2 and 3, 4, and then I change the chords. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, change chords. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, like that. Even if you're new to finger picking, you probably can get this. It will take some work, but yeah, you can do it. Like the intro, you have the G chord and the F chord, but you also have a C, which I'm sure you already know, and there is that B flat. But there's also a C minor, and there are 2 ways that you can finger that C minor, and both work perfectly. I tend to, because you're coming from a G to a C minor, is just use this finger here and just bar your bottom 3 strings. I don't have any problem doing that with my ring finger when I'm on the 3rd fret. We'll talk more about that in the verses. So there are other ways you could do it. You could shift and put your index finger in there. My index finger is a lot stronger than my ring finger, so that is another option. And 3rd option is you could finger it kind of like you do your D and put 3 fingers there. So all of those work. Find the method that works for you. And I find that sometimes I'll do it this way and sometimes I'll do it that way. Either way. Each chord symbol that you see in the chord chart and here on the play along that's coming up gets 2 beats. And so let's use a 2-beat strum, and additionally, to make it sound cool and to make your transitions sound really smooth, we're going to cheat them. So each chord gets a down, down, up. But on that up, every time I am lifting up my fingers as well on my chording hand and playing an A minor 7. No fingers on your chording hand. So it sounds like this. Let me play you an example of the chords. So it's G, down, up, B flat, down, up, F, down, up, C, down, up, G, down, up, C minor, down, up. Like that. So that's just a way to make it sound cool, plus you're getting, another chord sound in there, and I think it adds to the sound, not cheating and taking away something. Yeah, let me know what you think. In fact, let's practice it together. Nice, slow practice tempo. 1, 2, here we go. G, down, up, B flat, down, up, F, down, up, C, down, up, G, down, up, C minor 7, again. G, down, up, B flat, down, up, F, down, up, C, down, up, G, down, up, C minor. And you know about speed controls on YouTube, right? You know that you can speed me up if you need to, or slow me down, whichever works for you. Let's get brave here. There's barred chords in the chorus. If those scare you too much, I'll show you options, but do try them. C minor 7, barring all the way across the 3rd fret. I do it with my index finger, and then using your middle finger, you can actually put a little extra weight on it. And then the D minor 7, well, you just shift everything up to the 5th fret. And aren't we lucky that, our 5th fret's got some markings on it? And that's the D minor 7. It will take more strength to do it at the 5th fret because your strings are further away from your fretboard. So if you're finding that the C minor 7 it was easier than the D minor 7, well, you're finding that right. So if you don't want to do the C minor 7, well, just do a C minor. And if you don't want to do the D minor 7, just do a D minor like that. You could even make it a D minor 7 and add the pinky. And I find when I'm making such a big shift from like the C minor to D minor 7, my pinky can sometimes be delayed. I get the D minor in shape, and then the pinky comes down a little bit later, and that's okay, because if you get it by the last 2 beats of the strumming pattern, you're fine. They'll hear that nice little sound coming through. So let's take a look at the chorus, doing it the way that I'm going to do it with the barred chords. Each chord gets 4 beats, so the island strum works really well here. So we've been doing a 2-beat strum for the verses. Go to a 4-beat strum, the island strum, for the chorus. 1, 2, here we go. C minor 7 and D minor 7, back to C minor 7 and B flat again. C minor 7 and D minor 7 and C minor 7 and B flat again. In my chord chart, I will have all options for what you can do in the chorus for those chord substitutions and fingerings. I also have a little do 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 do, because I tried to play around with a riff and it sounded too empty. So keep the strumming pattern going. Do, 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 and put that accompaniment in your voice. Or not, you have options. In our last section that we need to learn, the bridge, there are 2 new chords to add to it, a G minor and then a C major 7. Let's get the easy one out of the way. C major 7 is 2nd fret of the A string, everything else is open. I love C major 7 chords. I also like G major 7, but I digress. G minor, index finger on the A string 1st fret, reaching over with your middle finger to the 2nd fret of the C string, and then ring finger takes up the E string. Now to do this, I just put a lot of down strums in for the first 2 lines of the song. So when you see G minor slash, C major 7 slash, oh yeah, there's still C major 7 and D minor 7 in there, and again, all the alterations that I gave you in the chorus you can use here in the bridge as well. Let's do it together, just the chords, no pesky lyrics. 1, 2, here we go. G minor 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, down, down, up, down, up, and C minor, and D minor, and C majors. And then we go right back into the verse, no pause. So you might even practice going from that C major 7. You might want to play it with your middle finger like this so you're ready for a G. Because you know, I've seen this from kindergartners to college students, senior citizens. Transitions are tough. It's just fact of music, making those kinds of transitions. So sometimes just practicing those in isolation is really a good practice. It'll shortcut your learning time. All right. Are you ready for a little history nerd section? I think I am. Seals and Crofts have just a special place in my heart. I just love their songs. Let me know if there's other songs that you think I should do of theirs. I've done Blessed is the Spot, and I'll have that linked down below. So they were both Texans. It's Jim Seals and Daryl Crofts. And they met when they were playing in The Champs, which the Champs had a huge surfer hit. Ba 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba. You know, Tequila. Well, after that was a hit, they joined along with Glenn Campbell. And so in the early 60s, the 3 of them, Campbell and Seals and Crofts, broke off along with some other musicians to form a band underneath Glenn Campbell's umbrella. But then eventually, Seals and Crofts went off to do their own thing. One of the things that you could listen to live performances of Summer Breeze, and I think something that makes it so special is the fact that Crofts plays a mandolin on it. So I think that really helps lend to the sound and also makes it a really good choice for the ukulele. Unfortunately, Jim Seals passed away in 2022. He had suffered a stroke in 2017 and passed away at 79 in Nashville in 2022. But he has a brother who was also an important musician. You've heard of England Dan and John Ford Coley. Well, England Dan is Dan Seals, Jim's brother. So let me know if there's other songs that you want me to do of Seals and Crofts. I should also mention that Seals and Crofts are Baha'is, and I'm a Baha'i as well. So I mentioned I've got a prayer that I've done, so that's their religious affiliation, which is the same as mine. Let's do the play along. Our starting pitch is a D, 2nd fret on the C string. 1, 2, ready. Begin. window lets me know everything's alright. Summer breeze makes me feel far, blowing through the jasmine in my mind. Summer breeze makes me feel far, blowing through the jasmine in my mind. See the paper laying on the sidewalk, little music from the house next door. So I walk on up to the doorstep, through the screen and across the floor. Summer breeze makes me feel far, blowing through the jasmine in my mind. Summer breeze makes me feel far, blowing through the jasmine in my mind. Sweet days of summer, the jasmine's in bloom. July is dressed up and playing her tune, and I come home from a hard day's work, and you're waiting there without a care in the world. See the smile waiting in the kitchen, food cooking and the plates there for two. Feel the arms that reach out to hold me in the evening when the day is through. Summer breeze makes me feel fine, blowing through the jasmine in my mind. Summer breeze makes me feel fine, blowing through the jasmine in my mind. Ah, we made it! Yay! Well, thank you so much for staying to the very end. And again, thank you to all my patrons, because this simply would not be possible without your financial support. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell if you haven't already, because that helps spread the ukulele love. Speaking of which, I have great merch that tells everybody what a wonderful ukulele experience is. So take care. I hope to see you in the next video.